Hello, welcome to Reading Success Academy. I'm Paula Smith. We're going to go through a process that I call word attack in order to break longer words down into smaller pieces to make them easier to read and easier to spell. We're also going to talk about the vocabulary word as it is as well. So let's take a look at today's word of the day, which we're going to sound out, so I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. If you already know, great, but I still want you to follow the procedure so you know how to go about working on these new words. All right, so the first thing we're going to look for is a special ending. A special ending would be like shun or chur or jur or shus. There are 8 different special endings, and if you need a cheat sheet of those, send me an email to hello@readingsuccessacademy.com. I'd be happy to send that your way and give you some examples of some of those words that have special endings. This one does not have any special endings, so step 2 is to look for groups of letters that work together to make one sound. Now we have actually 2 examples of that in this word. We have an right here, and we have an right here. Now, there are times where you'll have UR, where the U is making its own sound, and then you have a R sound after it. You'll also have times where you'll see a word where the O has its own sound, and then the R. But in this word, it's actually an You want to try the sound first before you split those up into 2 sounds when you're sounding out a word. They'll save you a lot of time. Okay, so I don't see anything else that works together to make one sound. So we're going to start at the beginning and sound through it until we have a chunk. A chunk is part of a word that has one vowel sound in it. And counts as a vowel sound because there's a little bit of an at the beginning of that, and that is a vowel sound. So we're going to go ahead and sound through it, saying k, cur, there's a chunk. And now we're going to start over here. We're not going to say cur and then keep going. We know that the first chunk is cur. Kind of set that aside in your mind there, and then we start over. Sir, there's a chunk. Now we're going to blend those first 2 chunks together. Cursor. And then we need to decide what sound we're going to try for the Y at the end. Now when you have a longer word with the letter Y at the end, try E first for that, the long E sound. Now you've seen the letter Y at the end of some short words like my and try and sky. So try a long I sound when it's at the end of a short word, but a longer word like this, try a long E sound first. Now the letter Y can have 4 sounds. It can be E, it can be I, it can be I, and the consonant sound ya. So 3 different vowel sounds and then 1 consonant sound. We're going to go with E here. So E is a chunk all by itself. Cursory. You might give this a cursory glance and think, oh, that's a challenging word. Cursory, let's take a look at the definition, means you're going to look over something quickly. Just hastily looking at something, not really going for all the details at first. So when you're spelling cursory, you'll want to break it into chunks, put some eye stoppers in there. Cursory. And what I would do is change colors and group that together. And the other I would give that a different color. And I'd give another shape too. That way you know that the 2 are spelled with different letters when you're reviewing your word list. So there you go. That's how I would code this word to remember the spelling of it. Okay, so if you're hastily going through something, you're taking a cursory glance at something, you could use it in a sentence like this. He gave the report only a cursory glance before moving on to the next task. So he didn't look at it very long. He wasn't looking for details, just kind of looking it over very quickly and on to the next thing. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. Just one word of the day. I'll give you one of those every day, Monday through Friday, so you can work on your vocabulary and your spelling. Oh, and your reading, of course. Breaking down those longer words into smaller chunks to make them easier to read and easier to spell. If you need some more help with your reading, make sure you reach out to me at hello@readingsuccessacademy.com. I'll be happy to help you with some classes. Take care and have